Okay, we're at really almost the end of the conference, and with me is a really, I think, amazing educator, and I came down to see your booth. Tom Wilson, welcome. Tom, can you tell us a little bit about your role, first of all, and then tell us about the booth that you have here at the
Sure,
conference?
yeah. I'm at North Canton City Schools, which is a Hoover High School up in North Canton, and we run a broadcast journalism video production program. I've been there for about 17 years. Kind of moved from the role of just originally starting the program, full-time teacher, doing all the teaching responsibilities. As our program grew, we started to hire more people, a second teacher, then adding broadcast journalism, having a teacher for that. And in recent years, I've kind of stepped a little out of that role and more a coordinator for the district. So not only managing the program that we have, then I have other district responsibilities and also operating our TV station that goes out to Time Warner Cable and AT&T.
So here at the conference, you were really the documentary crew, and I had the pleasure of being interviewed by one of your students, but really was almost a full student production.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just amazed because we always talk about college and career ready, and what you're doing is really preparing kids for a career. It gives them that hands-on experience. Is that the way you see your role?
Yeah, absolutely. Our philosophy in the program has been, we started as a vocational program, so ideally the training was this could be what you would do when you graduate high school, although we're in a high school where probably about 90% of the students do go on to college. So we know that we're training them for the industry, but also college. When they walk out, they've got a great amount of experience, and they could go work just about anywhere, doing film, television, sports broadcasting, you name it, in the field, they can do that. So when it came to getting involved with what's going down here at OETC, we were contacted last year by School Video News, SVN, and that's an online magazine, and they said, hey, we're going to be there. We've kind of been hired to be the documentary coordinator for that. Would your school come down? So, yeah, let's do that. So we came down last year and again this year. Basically, the students' responsibilities are to go out and create news-style packages of all the different things that are going on. So I think last year we created about 16 packages. This year I think we did over 20. And then in the midst of that, they'll also do a couple of live TV stream type broadcasts. So basically they're taking the news production that they do on a daily basis back up at home, and it's sort of a run and gun style, get it done quickly here. And because our students have the training that they do, once we get here, we've got student coordinators and producers and directors, and all the responsibilities are broken down. So once we get here each morning, they're off doing their thing. We've got a group of editors. We've got folks running the TV studio portion of it. It's a lot of work, but it's a great simulation for the students. Although they're used to doing a lot of real-world experience back where we are, now it condenses it again into this 4-day or 3-day experience, which is pretty intense. But then they walk out of here with a great portfolio as well.
Tell me about, we talk about, curriculum, I guess, goals and things. Do you find that kids working in this type of environment, does it pull in all of the really elements of curriculum that we find are important, like reading, writing, organizing, math? Do you find this program connects?
It does.
Some of those dots?
Yeah, it really does. Connects in many, many ways because of the style of what we have to do. There's something about video production in the broadcast journalism that once kids get into it, at just about any level, they're really, really hooked. It's all about them actively engaging in the content of the story creation. And that means that they have to do the research, they have to be able to write, they have to be able to work with other people and work with groups, and they have to be able to manage their own time because there are deadlines that are involved in that. You go over to editing, and there does become an element of math and science that's involved in that. So yeah, it really does touch, it helps them become that well-rounded student, and that's what I really like about the video production and the broadcast journalism. It ties that all together. Then you've got the added component of what you're doing for your school district, what you're doing for the community, and there are very few students, I think, around the country at any given time that get to do what these kids are doing, which is really become the storytellers of their school. That's kind of different and unique, and I think that that's what pulls them into the program. And I think from there, whether or not they go into it as a career, they have learned skills that are going to help them in every aspect of their life.
One of the things it's kind of a theory of mine, but this type of work and creating a project for somebody else beyond yourself is, I think, an empowering skill that I think is good for any any person who wants to go on, you have to see beyond yourself. And do you think that documentary style creation does that? It really almost by default makes kids think beyond themselves to their audience and what's going to be attracted to that. Is that theory sound?
It's a very solid theory, and we see it all the time in practice, and we've had lots of experiences with our students. One of them is working with veterans. We've been telling veteran stories for years at Hoover. As a matter of fact, I think that's what got us the boost that we needed to do all these really amazing things that I think we get to do and all the opportunities that the kids see. And it's very much a selfless type of activity. You're getting some worth in the fact that you're editing and you're getting to do some things that are fun. But at the end, there's this final product that people get to see, and it's important to have an audience, and that's why we have a TV station. But even though you have that, by the time it goes to your audience, you're already on to the next production. So you have to continue to be motivated there's something that's driving you to do that. There are some instances where we do get to interact even more with the audience. A number of years ago, we took students down to Bay St. Louis, Mississippi after Katrina. Katrina had hit, and it was about 6 months later. We spent a week there documenting what had happened to this community because they lost their school, people were in their FEMA trailers. At the end of that year, we got to go back down there and hold sort of a mini film festival. People came out of their trailers to come watch this film festival, and it was a very emotional experience. And the students that got to go back and experience the end product of that, they've created relationships with those folks that are still a huge part of their lives today. So we're still connected with those people. So those kinds of connections that you build, I think you can carry them with you through your lifetime. So there is that part of it where you have to have, you realize that you were doing something that's somewhat selfless. You created it for another person, and those folks are going to treasure that part for a long time. And then you're moving on to the next production. You've got another one that you have. You kind of have to let go of that and move on to the next one to keep moving forward.
So where will people see your students' work? How do we see it?
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody would just need to go to North Canton City Schools. At the top of the browser there, you're going to look for news, and under that is North Canton City Schools TV 11, NCCS TV 11. That's our Time Warner Cable station. We have pretty much everything imaginable online that people can access. All of our shows, we have students do a daily news broadcast. It's a 7-minute news broadcast. It's not just the announcements, but there are packages that they roll in. We have footage from the Associated Press for a contract that we pay for. So all those things are rolled into that. Then from there, we transition into public affairs shows, kind of like an Oprah Winfrey style show where they're actually interviewing. It could be the mayor, it could be the superintendent, it might be students from the volleyball team. And those happen on a weekly basis. A sporting show, Up to Date, which is run by one of our students, Abby, who said, I would like to do a national news show. And we had to say, well, how are we going to do that? We have to be able to get the footage. And that's where we went to the AP and actually signed up for a contract. And we said, this is important enough for you. We're going to find a way to fund it. So we've done it. We have several funding sources that help pay for that footage. So all those things can be found online, including documentaries, sporting events. We do basketball. So just about anything you might want to find out about North Canton, it's there on the site.
Do you find the kids that come, it seems like it's a kind of special kid that would come into or have a special talent, I guess. Do you find that, and do you find these kids will carry that talent on?
Yeah, we have a pretty good rate of success as far as kids that go through the program that do this. It's over 50%, and I think that's a good percentage when you're looking at kids that are coming in to find out, do they really want to do this as a career? We start with a large base sophomore year, and we funnel that down to the senior year, so we typically have kids that follow along that are interested in doing this. But we've had kids go on to do all sorts of things, working in film and television. We have a former student who's the director of comedy development for NBC, and she'll come back in and actually speak to the class, which is great. So I've done this long enough now that those folks that were in my program 17 years ago, they're now out in the industry and making an impact. Now that they can kind of get back to the program, whether it be speaking or assisting us in some way or getting to get a job.
Well, it sounds really inspiring, and I was very impressed when I went out there to see what your kids are doing. It said professional all the way, so they're really getting a great experience. Time for a couple of the Speed Geek questions?
Yep.
All right, this is the Decide Now app. Short answer, just click the green button.
Okay. Wait.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
We're going to go with Star Trek.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay. The old ones or the new ones or both?
Both actually.
All right, so you're a true Trek.
Yeah, I am.
Favorite app?
Favorite app? Boy.
Doesn't have to be education.
Doesn't have to be education. Boy, favorite app would be it's one called Exit. So when we're traveling on a family vacation, find out what's near you. It's a good app. Exit.
Oh, nice. Okay.
All right,
More.
do another.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
There it is.
Minecraft, World of
Warcraft.
Warcraft.
Okay. It's probably going to be
Any other
Minecraft. That's more because of my kids. They're constantly playing
Are
it.
they?
So are the students. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing what they do on there, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Tom, it's great meeting you,
Thanks
and
for having
keep
me.
up the great work.
All right.
Inspiring.
Thank you very much.